What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thanks for joining. $500,000 in damage, a rap sheet through the roof, and not bail eligible. Leftists have turned our justice system into a political and social weapon in certain parts of our country, and I'm talking about this alleged Fox Christmas tree arsonist, who also revealed that he had thoughts about arson all day long before setting the fire. He also claimed that he didn't do it. Yes, this man who was accused of torching the Fox News All-American Christmas tree was freed Wednesday night without bail. How did this happen? Well, New York criminal justice reforms that were enacted in January of 2020 barred judges from setting bail on these charges, including arson. The charge would have had to have been third-degree arson as a hate crime for the case to be bail eligible. So what happens now? A guy who just committed arson, serious damage, put people's lives in danger, is immediately back out in the street. What's he going to do now? Is he going to be presented with the key of the city by Mayor Bill de Blasio? It seriously wouldn't surprise me. I hear CNN has a spot open. Or is it more likely he's just going to commit more crimes and put the community in danger out there in New York? This is an example of critical justice. It is based on a foundation of Marxism. In my last video, I talked about trying to avoid the pitfall of Marxism. And in my opinion, some people disagree with this, but I don't see how you can. It might be shocking to have it presented in this way, but I don't know how you can disagree with this. Karl Marx wanted to crumble the current power structure so he could become the power structure. He and people who believed in what he believed in. And the goal of the way that you do that is through violence. He said that. That's how Marx had said he was going to do it. The working class, there's no other way for the working class to overthrow the bourgeois, as he put it at the time.
But here's Marx in 1848, not in Communist Manifesto, but contemporary, saying, quote, "There's only one way in which the murderous death agonies of the old society and the bloody birth throes of the new society can be shortened, simplified, and concentrated. And that way is revolutionary terror."
People like this arsonist are an asset to Marxism. If your reply to this craziness is also anger, like this man has, if you respond with anger and chaos, then we are also assets to Marxism. Equally so. Don't get me wrong. I love Salty Cracker, the late Rush Limbaugh, Steven Crowder. They play different roles, and they don't have institutional power. And so I'm not a guy who's going to be up here telling jokes and being funny all the time, but that doesn't mean you don't have a perspective to help combat what's happening in our world, and especially in the United States. I want everyone watching the video to share their perspective, and in the comments here, or whatever, sharing or just talking to people. But what I want to do to avoid from falling into the pitfall of Marxism, I'm not going to change my beliefs. That's not going to happen. But my approach has to be more sophisticated. And it's real simple. How do we address the way that they were able to manipulate things is they identified bail as a thing that needed to be reformed through the lens of racism.
Bail is a simple concept. You put up money as an incentive to show up to your court date. But the cash bail system in the United States is riddled with problems.
The average savings of an American is under $400. So when you're given typically a bail amount that's over that, you're not going to be able to afford it.
So the question I have is, we need leaders like Marjorie Taylor Greene and other people in DC and locally, mayors and everybody, to be involved, not screaming about how crazy this is. Anybody with a brain knows this is crazy and outrageous. But what's the way? The problem, the way they were able to do this was leveraging bail. What's the answer to bail reform? I don't know. I'm not smart enough. I have no idea. What's the answer? First of all, do we really need bail reform? I think there's a case for it. I think we do need bail reform, or we did. So if you were to do bail reform over again to prevent this stuff, would there be more restrictions favoring non-violent people, saying the bail reform that you get out with cashless bail would be more for non-violent, non-victim type crimes. And you keep these crazy arsonists, these people that commit wild crimes, put people in danger, you keep them off the streets. That's what I want. And really, we can talk about the answers, but I think we need to push for our leaders to provide those type of answers. Not just say, wow, look how crazy Democrats are. Look how wild that is. That's easy to do. Let's take it another notch up. Let me know what you think. Take care.